organizations that have infiltrated us and are here, the sleeper cells, as you say. I think that's a big issue.
We find out that the NSA is writing apps that get into our smartphones that listen to us and watch us and read our emails, and it's sort of like, oh, gosh, that's bad. We don't realize what that actually means. Do you have any privacy at all if you're carrying a telephone around that when it sleeps, it's not really asleep? The app has made it so that it's not sleeping. The app is listening and watching. And it's not just one agency. It's many hundreds of agencies and corporations around the world. Even foreign governments are doing it. Russia, Russia will go to our trade shows here in the States and just pass out thumb drives and applications. We know for a fact that many of those are doing exactly the same thing that the NSA is doing. We have no privacy whatsoever.
Well, I was about to say Snowden runs over to Russia, and I think it's fine, and I think he's a hero overall. But at the same time, Russia is pioneering spying on their people real time, and they're famous with hacking and malware and stealing. The Russian mafia, that's basically the Russian government. Half the time we see issues on the internet, it's the Russians. So briefly talk about your view of Snowden and the Russians, that whole issue.
Well, Snowden, it depends on how you look at Snowden. He is certainly a hero for telling me and you and everyone else what's actually happening. Legally, he's a pariah. Legally, the U.S. wants to prosecute him. I'm glad that he told us, quite frankly. If he had not, we would still be in the dark about many issues. In terms of Russia, Russia is winning the spy war. They have organized hackers. They even have refrigerators now that have been found that have internet connections and microphones in them that can listen to you. This is bizarre. Toasters. Any electronic device that has a chip in it is going to be...
If it has the name Smart on it, run from it.
Absolutely. But what are we going to do? Throw the refrigerators out? We need to be smarter about the situation that we're in. It's kind of like we're being swallowed by the snake, and we're fiddling and dancing. We need to be aware of what's happening. If we're not, then there is no hope, is there?
Well, absolutely. Look at the Syrian Electronic Army, which we know a lot of them are Russians. I mean, they have just been hacking everything, exposing everything. And what's sad is Russia doesn't have the moral high ground. They're incredibly corrupt.
No.
But then I look at the U.S. government. They're so bad now and so run by multinational corporations that are even more amoral than the Russians. Right. At least the Russians stick up for Russians.
But see, the multinational corporations don't even need the spy agencies anymore.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Alex, what's
well, you're the expert. Talk about it.
No, right. They will willingly provide applications that make your life easier and you're glad to use, and inside those apps are the same things that the NSA is trying to do. So they don't even need the government anymore. We are allowing them to spy on ourselves by our acquiescence.
It's a revolution against privacy, and now they admit, and I want your take on this, that Google can predict mass movement futures. Yes. Amazon knows what you're going to order before.
Yes.
If you know what people are doing, you know the future, and then you can manipulate people with that data to control the future.
Right. Now, you mentioned Google, and I use Google as much as anyone. However, you have to look at the truth here. Google makes money by companies knowing what you're doing, obviously. By providing companies your buying habits, when you wake up, what you wear, where you work, they can sell more stuff to you, Alex. And by selling more stuff to you, Google gets its percentage. Google has no interest in privacy. Privacy is the end of their growth. So this is another two-edged sword. We need information. I need information. We all do, and we use that information. It's a very powerful service, but it seems to be a powerful service without a heart and soul.
Wow. Continuing with your case, say if you had 5 minutes, John, and you were trying to explain to, say, mainstream dinosaur media the history of John McAfee, who he is he for real, what's happened to him, what would you say?
Well, I think the world will have to decide whether I'm for real, and it's why I allowed John to come and spend 3 days pouring through a mountain of government internal memos for release and conversations to find, so that he could find it for himself without me having to explain it to him.
Yeah, and the first time I met John, it was in a cafe. I brought a friend with me, and John sort of floated into the room, and there he is with a trench coat. He's got the glasses. He's looking scruffy and a hat, and he kind of floats into the room, and he goes, "I want the chair against the wall." He sits against the wall. turns off his phone. We all turn off our phones, and we're sitting there. And he starts to talk. And at first, I wasn't even sure it was him, because he's like looking around the room. The man was on the run. I didn't know it then. I mean, what brought me into this whole thing was the value of decentral, the value of giving people the power back to know what's going on with their phones, to know what's going on with their information, and the prospect of being decentralized, so they can't track you, so you can communicate, so you can exchange things without, the third big brother watching. This was something that I wanted to write about. And we were talking about China as well. We were talking about all these cyber wars going on, and these different governments putting these things together, and attacking corporations, American corporations, spying on American citizens, and these kinds of things. It was a great conversation. And and then we started to get a little bit more of John's story about, a little bit about what's happening.
Stay there. I want to hear that when we come back.
Okay.
And by the way, we're doing a whole hour of Overdrive after this, because I had a meeting about the new website design, but we'll have to back up to 3, because I want to shift into some other subjects after we talk about this.
My name is Jessica Armand. I'm an activist, a GCN listener, and mother of 3. Our drinking water and food are filled with fluoride and other contaminants that harm our teeth and gums. To protect my family, I created My Magic Mud, an all-natural teeth whitening and strengthening remedy. My Magic Mud is a soft powder that polishes your teeth, reduces sensitivity, and removes harmful toxins from deep inside your mouth. You deserve a bright, healthy smile. Visit mymagicmud.com and get yours today. That's mymagicmud.com.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit, then carting to a private bank, having it lent back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Ted Anderson, I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
American gardeners and fellow patriots, make the right choice with your money, time, and your family food supply. Choose 100% pure heirloom seeds in the Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com. Why spend more? The Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com is only $37.95 and includes 20 varieties of pure, hardy, easy-to-grow heirloom seeds. Yes, only $37.95. That's 70% less than our competitors. You could buy 3 Survival Seed Vaults for less than one of theirs. The Survival Seed Vault from MyPatriotSupply.com includes detailed planting and seed-saving instructions and ships same day. Plus, all orders over $49 ship free. MyPatriotSupply.com is American-owned by patriots like you, passionate about freedom and preparedness. Call now, 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927. Or discover more emergency preparedness items when you order at MyPatriotSupply.com. Choose the original. Choose the Survival Seed Vault at MyPatriotSupply.com.
In the last 50 years, iodine has been phased out of our staple foods and replaced with the halogen bromine, a practice now banned in nations around the world. Guess what else is in the halogen family? Fluoride. Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones here. In 1924, the federal government did the right thing and encouraged salt producers to add iodine. It's the good halogen on the periodic table, and the results are on record. Reports documented a 15-point IQ increase in areas that had previously been deficient in iodine. Bottom line, iodine is important. Unbound, clean, in a glycerin base. Nascent iodine was the answer for myself and my family. You will find Survival Shield Nascent Iodine exclusively at InfoWarsLife.com. InfoWars Life Survival Shield Nascent Iodine isn't just for emergencies. I take it every day. That's InfoWarsLife.com or call toll-free 888-253-3139. Strange days have definitely found us. We're just going to do a whole nother hour of Overdrive. Some stations leave us at the end of this hour. A lot of them carry it because I used to do the 4th hour every day. If you don't, we're live on prisonplanet.tv. You can find the free video audio feeds at Infowars.com/show. Or just click on the listen page. We'll do a whole nother hour and we'll open the phones up at 20 after next hour. And I promise I'll go to your calls for you to get to talk to John McAfee and the investigative journalist that he has here with him. The toll-free number to join us is 800-259-9231, 800-259-9231. Again, 800-259-9231. We don't screen your calls, so there'll be the good, the bad, and the ugly, John. Total wild card grab bag, 800-259-9231. We'll go to you at 20 after, starting in the next hour. Briefly, please remember we're totally independent, libertarian-based radio, pro-Second Amendment, pro-family, pro-sovereignty, pro-private property, everything. I think I said property twice. It's so important. Please support us by becoming PrisonPlanet.tv members to fight the Prison Planet. Please check out InfoWarsLife.com and the great supplements that we've developed. Please buy the Molon Labe T-shirts for men and women that we have at InfoWarsStore.com that are made in America. By the way, John, here is a great, large is your size, right? Or is it
large is my size.
Molon Labe Spartan. I think this is great for you standing up for the Second Amendment with the Spartan with the two M4s crossed, and then Infowars.com on the back. And for your wife, we have a ladies fit with gold foil that is extremely sexy. So we're going to give you some of that as well. And you, John, as well. We got the two Johns in here with us. Awesome. We've got John McAfee and John Casaretto. Finally getting that right?
Yes.
The 50th time. Anyways, great to have you both here. This is a short segment. We're about to end this hour. Finish your story about getting to know John McAfee, because strange days are definitely here. Our government's trying to start war with Russia. The NSA spying on everyone. Obama wants, to screw everybody with Obamacare, and we're hanging out with John McAfee, the very interesting person.
Yeah, definitely. I was telling a story about how I met him. I was with my friend, good friend Eddie Mize, a great artist out of Denver. And so we went down there. He's also an InfoSec guy. We start talking about security, and we make our way outside. And it was everything that we expected. I talked to John McAfee before on the phone, and it was a great conversation. And so we go outside and we start to talk, and he goes, "Hey, I've got some recordings I want to play for you." So we sit in my friend Eddie's car, and he starts to play these audio recordings, and it was an investigator who was telling John on the phone, "I've uncovered some information that says the attempt on your life that happened in Portland was a $2 million contract that was put forward. It was put into place through the cartel, through the Sinaloa cartel. And then there was a second contract when that attempt was not successful." John's interlacing this with the introduction of this story at this time that all this stuff happened to him and Janice. There was a second contract for $650,000. And John stops it and he goes, "I find that insulting that my life is only worth $650,000.
Really, $2 million. I mean, I know some of the cartels just to be grandiose have big contracts, but $600,000 is a lot.
Well,
I found it insulting.
You can get somebody killed for 10 grand.
That's true.
He found that
not
insulting.
Me. I'm slippery, maybe.
So I understand. Yeah.
That leads to the deconstructing McAfee story. Everything I've ever read about John in the press, it was my impression that John was this wild man. He was a party man that. Preposterous if you really think about it.
Yeah, when you really get to know him, he's not really being paranoid. He's super smart. The question is he manipulating you?
Yeah, I've thought about that.
He does come off a little bit like El Diablo.
Yeah.
If I wanted to cast somebody to play the devil, I'd get John McAfee.
Well, let me tell you something. we're standing there.
I'm just joking, John. You're a really good guy. I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
Actually, if I could call in, I have some questions for myself.
All right, we're going to be right back. We're coming back. Stay there. All right, we're going to come back and talk about this. No, everything John's been talking about keeps coming true. I mean, I believe it. I think he's a good guy. We'll be right back. Introducing Pro One. All of your filtration in one system, portable, on the go. No more do you have 2 or 3 filters to just reduce sodium fluoride. You have a system that cuts out the sodium fluoride and up to 95% of hydrofluorosilicic acid. Advanced manufacturing technology combines silver-impregnated white ceramic with new Aquamedics advanced media for removal of fluoride and other heavy metals, all in one filter element. It is the only one that does it, and out of the gates, we have it discounted at 10% off with promo code WATER. This is the only system that in one unit helps reduce or remove pesticides, herbicides, chloramines, ammonia and chlorine, hydrofluorosilicic acid, the most common form of fluoride not covered by other fluoride filter brands, and sodium hexafluorosilicate. Get your Pro Pure with the new Pro One filters today at InfoWarsStore.com or by calling 888-253-3139.